Good afternoon, I'm Josh Duncan, and these are some of the top headlines out of the KelownaNow newsroom today. The family of Bailey McCourt has officially issued its call for urgent reform regarding how BC and Canada deal with violent domestic offenders. Bailey's Law is a proposal that includes several reforms to protect women from the same tragic fate that met McCourt in Kelowna on July 4th. She was murdered in broad daylight, allegedly by her ex-partner James Plover, just hours after he was convicted of previous assaults on Bailey McCourt. Bailey's Law calls for four main reforms, which are to establish a domestic violence offender registry, reform bail policy for high-risk domestic offenders, mandate first-degree murder charges for intimate partner homicide, and require recognition of lethality risk in bail hearings. The family says the fact that her killer was allowed to walk free and unmonitored after his conviction highlights the urgent need for systemic reform. The BC Conservatives have publicly backed the family's efforts, with local MLAs Christina Lowen and Gavin Dew praising her family's courage amid their grief. Dew says politicians owe it to them and every woman at risk of violence to ensure Bailey's Law is adopted without delay. Kelowna set a new daily temperature record on Sunday. It hit 36.2 degrees Celsius in the central Okanagan. It's the hottest August 24th on record for the city. It eclipsed the old record of 35 degrees set back in 1999. It was one of 15 temperature records broken across BC to end the weekend, and another 5 all-time highs were tied. Kamloops, another record breaker, slightly hotter than Kelowna at 36.8. That was enough to break a nearly 70-year-old record by just 0.1 degrees. Nearby in Lytton, it hit a sweltering 40.3 degrees. That comfortably broke a record that had also stood for around 7 decades. A bunch of records were set on Saturday after a hot Saturday as well, more likely to fall this week as the province continues through a hot stretch to end August. After all the drama around the West Kelowna cancellation and getting a new venue, Sean Foyt's concert went off seemingly with no issues on Saturday night. A pretty big crowd showed up to watch the Christian singer at a private property in Joe Rich, although he said thousands showed up on his social media. Others claim the attendance figure was likely between 1,000 and 1,500, still a very big crowd. No protests were held, and the RDCO said no significant issues were reported. KelownaNow has reached out to the RCMP to confirm the same from them, but we have not heard back, and there has been no word of any big issues up there. Foyt played in Abbotsford the next night on Sunday, and he is now back in the U.S. with no future shows scheduled for Canada at this time. Some happy news from the coast to report, as a cat who went missing on a BC ferry sailing more than 2 weeks ago has been found. The ordeal began August 9th when Luigi the cat slipped out of a small window opening in his owner's vehicle on a sailing from Nanaimo to Tawasin. The crew on board helped the family search for the beloved cat, but had no success, unfortunately. Well, yesterday, the story took a positive turn. A BC Ferries commercial services driver spotted a cat under a portable office trailer at the Tawasin terminal. The sighting prompted Karen from Halo's Pet Rescue. She had been leading the search for Luigi. Prompted her to head to the terminal with her tracking dog, Halo. Karen, Halo, and a bunch of BC Ferries crew members did everything they could to coax Luigi out as his mom, Nelia, excuse me if I pronounced that improperly, made the trek to Vernon. He was reluctant to show his face, the cat Luigi, but that changed when Mom showed up and he responded to her voice. So a very happy ending for sure, and now Luigi back home with his family in the sunny North Okanagan. All right, wrapping up with a little sports news. A former WHL standout and captain of the Kelowna Rockets is calling it a career. Tyson Barrie announced today that he is retiring from professional hockey after 14 seasons in the NHL. Saw him play over 800 games with Colorado, Toronto, Edmonton, Nashville, and Calgary. The Victoria native spent 4 seasons with the Kelowna Rockets, helped the team to a WHL title in 2009. That was the same year he was drafted in the third round, 64th overall by the Avalanche. Despite being a defenseman, Barrie was quite the point producer, notching an impressive 110 goals, 398 assists for 508 total points in his 822 career games. A great career for Tyson. Congratulations on the retirement. All right, a quick look at the forecast. Continued heat all week. If you don't like the heat, I'm sorry for this, but we're at 32, 33 right now. Should sneak up a couple more degrees in the next hour or two to the high of 35. Clear and warm overnight, then mainly sunny again tomorrow, high of 35 once again. Look for more temperature records to be broken this week, that's for sure. I believe the high on Thursday is 36. That is all for me today, but you can read up on all these stories and plenty more at KelownaNow.com. Have a great Monday night, and I will be back here tomorrow afternoon for a look at a few more headlines. We'll see you then.
We live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local, independent. News you can trust.